thank you all because I know that you're all busy, that you all have a lot of things to do with your families, your businesses, your careers, your community activities. And to come out tonight is true encouragement. I want to thank, we have many people and you are community leaders here, and I want to thank you all. I want to thank the ministers, the elected officials, Farmer, one of my fellow members, he was our Newark City Councilman of many years. I thank you for coming. Thank you for coming out. I want to thank you all for being here. It's and I hope the people of Dover feel as I do, that we have a great city with many great opportunities for growth. And when I speak of growth, I'm speaking of a growth of the Spirit. You know, there's been such a debate many times about different ways to grow. But the first growth has to be that of us growing together to be a stronger community. A community that is united. A community that is safe. A community where families have the opportunity to flourish. And a community where prosperity is real for each and every person. We want no one to be left out. We want a government that works for each and every person, not for one group or another group, but a government that works for every person, from the business person to the homeless person. We want a government that works from everyone for the youth and works for the seniors. We want a government that's truly a government that is for the people, not a government as we see in many times in the state that seems to operate in spite of the people. And that's the choice we have. It's a choice that can be real. It's because we, the people, can have the government that we expect and the government that we demand. I believe that we can achieve many goals, such as a safe community. Over the past 3 years, one of the priorities that I've had has been to lower crime. Now, that's something one person can't do, and believe me, I'm not claiming that. But it's something that we can all do. We've helped to form neighborhood watches and encourage them, get the police back to authorized strength, and restart community policing. Restart things such as quality of life. Empowering landlords to make a difference so that they can actually do something when there are tenants who are habitually victimizing the people around them, and yet the landlords had no options before. So now they have options so that they can discontinue a lease when people have, believe it or not, dealing with 3 times felonies out of a property. I mean, and those things are actually making a difference. When you look at the crime rate in the city, it's been falling over the past couple of years. Now there's more that needs to be done. For one thing, we need to definitely engage and make sure that people who are re-entering society actually have the plans implemented that they're supposed to. That the state has already set aside resources, but so many people are being turned out onto the streets. And then we wonder why we have certain problems when we look around us. It is it's absurd when people are supposed to have resources available to them when they leave mental institutions. And yet, so many of them are literally being discharged back to the streets. I know we can do better. I know the resources exist. But there are many ways that we have to coordinate. We have to start a plan to help people to re-enter society, and we'll do that by coordinating with the many nonprofits who are working currently. Now, if we actually work together as a city, and we actually start to coordinate and plan and follow those plans, there's not much that can't be accomplished. We see what happened when we started a plan in downtown. We had been spinning our wheels for about 15 years. But when we actually got a plan together, we see investment flowing there. We see downtown starting to transform. But that transformation isn't complete until it actually starts reaching the people who live there. We have, and over the past several years, we've worked on projects such as bettering the infrastructure. We had a great opportunity in Dover a few years ago. We used to be able to see the water, you know. We had pretty colors, brown and orange, and we had the most colorful water in the East Coast. It was beautiful. But water, of course, should be clear. You know, I remember at one city council meeting, at one committee meeting, asking about the plan, and the answer was we'll be able to solve it because we're going to put in new piping. As to what rate? He told me, and I said, oh, wait a second. I did the calculation in my mind. I said, how long would that take? Knowing the answer. And they said, oh, well, I said, about how long? He said, about 100 years. I thought that wasn't quite acceptable. Yeah, can't go back to the constituents and say, hey, folks, guess what? Got your problem solved. Don't worry about it. Your grandchildren will be. Come on now. Your grandchildren will be set. That's not exactly acceptable. But we came up with new strategies using things that worked at Dover Air Force Base, and it's worked here. Everything's not perfect, but now we see our water's clear. And that is an improvement. We've been able to cut electric rates, about 8% on average each of the last 2 years. Now Dover has the lowest electric rates of any municipality except Lewis, Delaware, and the third lowest rates in the state. And that's been successful to help encourage more business growth. There's now what we're going to have to do is to have a business-friendly environment. Now we all know that you can't be pro-jobs and anti-business. Now you have to, if you want businesses, you have to act like you want them. Now, it doesn't mean that you do so at any cost. It doesn't mean that you impoverish the taxpayers with special deals and things which pit one business above another. Because there should be an environment that fosters growth, where your business can grow and your business can grow. And those are some of the initiatives that we worked out. And some that are going to be outlined over the next several days. And you'll have to go to davidandersonfordover.com because I don't want to bore you with all the details about economic greening and impact fees and other issues. Because otherwise I might start hearing, and that being from foreheads hitting the table. But but it's but these different initiatives are important because we've been able to, over the last couple of years, to set up resources where many small businesses have gotten the help they need, whether it's USDA loans, whether it's getting information on different contracts that are out there. We got tired of all the contracts going for taxpayer money going to out-of-state companies. I mean, we looked at projects and after project, and Reverend Gordon helped research some of this.
Right.
And we got tired of seeing that 99% of the money was going to out of state of our tax money. And it was unnecessary because we had qualified local contractors and subcontractors. And we look at the fact that businesses that wanted to expand were getting hit with so many fees, and that we were able to cut the impact fees and the business licenses for if you're expanding your business or reclaiming an empty vacant lot, which is necessary because downtown, you know, the vacant property, if you put it all together, the square footage would equal 25 football fields. We have a lot of work to do, my friends. But we're started, and I'd like to have the opportunity to take a very comprehensive strategy and start moving to achieve that. With helping the small businesses, helping to reclaim empty property. The results so far have been positive, but I'd like to see more done, because one of the things that we have with the mayor's office is you have an economic development staff, a crack one, and we have 3 members, which is more than the county or any of the cities around us. We definitely need to see some opportunities before we lose them at the civil air terminal, so that we can add that ramp, so that you can have the overnight stays, which will bring in deliveries and truly bring in a lot of business over to the civil air terminal. There's a lot that needs to be done. The good part is most of it doesn't need more tax money. Because, you know, the resources already exist. We're already, in fact, what I always found interesting about Delaware, I better be careful before the good camera lady starts sweating, not move. But the resources are already here. What I always found interesting with Delaware is we spend enough money to have platinum coated government, but we end up with sterling steel results. And that's the problem. We do not spend our resources appropriately. We do not coordinate. We duplicate. We allow the county spends money on 911 service. The city spends money on 911 service, and then calls the county to have the county call back, and you start saying, why? Why are we paying all this money? Yeah, you start looking at time and time again at all the lack of coordination, and you start saying, you know, that's my money. Why is it being wasted? In fact, and that's how I want to approach this. I want to approach it like the fact it is. Why isn't my money being spent the way it's supposed to be? Why isn't your money being spent the way it's supposed to be? Once we do that, we can actually start getting the results that we need. We can start getting